People care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you.
Blake Lively's charismatic public persona once made her a fixture of red carpets and magazine covers. Though she had been celebrated for years as a style icon and a seemingly down-to-earth star, her carefully groomed image began to unravel when a wave of allegations surfaced surrounding her participation in the adaptation of a best-selling novel, It Ends With Us. All that comes around makes one feel that nothing can change you when it really can. That film, directed and co-written by Justin Baldoni, had seemed to promise a smooth, uplifting production. Yet backstage disputes spiraled into controversies involving text messages, counterclaims, and unexpected revelations. The entire situation has reached a crescendo, and in an astonishing twist, Blake's own attorney has chosen to terminate their representation of her. This would then make her career in a tailspin due to her actions. This move came with an added shock. The lawyer publicly outlined reasons for resigning, effectively painting a portrait of a client who they claim went to extraordinary lengths to undermine Justin and has now been exposed for doing so. This has never happened, and a line was crossed. You would think, what else could you do? But there was something that was brewing and brewing to what is being seen now. The attorney's departure set off alarm bells throughout Hollywood. It's a highly unusual occurrence for a high-profile lawyer to break ties with a client under such circumstances, especially while hinting at ethical misgivings. Given Blake's track record in front of the camera, generally cordial, lighthearted, and at times self-deprecating, few suspected she might be the center of a storm that put her attorney in such an untenable position. All is crazy to think and hear about, and the most insane it can come.
I was testing for a show that ended up actually getting picked up and doing very well, and I was one of two people maybe, and then I get a call from my managers and my agent, and they were both on the line, which means it's something serious.
Right.
Either you got the job or there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And they said, so you were the choice, but the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting.
Oh. What?
Oh no.
And then they went like, so what can we do about your eyebrows?
And fleeting glances that raised eyebrows in behind the scenes.
Yet here we are, watching the unraveling of her reputation in a manner that seems more dramatic than anything she ever portrayed on screen. How or what in the world did the attorney even come to the idea that they might have not be doing everything they wanted to do? And we are going to find out more. The controversy itself began innocently enough. It Ends With Us, a story with a passionate fan base, was poised for an emotional and visually compelling film adaptation. What was coming to be one of the best adaptations has now been shattered, all thanks to the lies. Justin Baldoni brought both star power and directorial ambition to the project, hoping to create a work that would resonate with audiences on a deep level. Blake's casting elevated excitement, as many believed her involvement would draw added attention. It is something of the best and the worst. Publicly, both actors expressed optimism about their partnership, although they hailed from somewhat different corners of the entertainment world. Justin had built a niche reputation for empathy, positivity, and heartfelt storytelling, while Blake was often lauded for her glamorous events and vibrant media presence. These two came together to either bring and make something work for change or completely destroy it, and they didn't change to come together. Initial harmony, however, began to fracture. Whispers around the set suggested that Blake felt overshadowed by Justin's visible hand in shaping the film. He was, after all, the director, co-writer, and a lead actor, which gave him a natural prominence. Now, was this something of jealousy because everything was being put out there, or was it to take everything and get the light to be even more on her?
I mean, I internalized that as opportunity. We had such a responsibility to this audience to deliver something and to have the opportunity to deliver something for a passionate group of people.
Yes.
As someone who is so deeply passionate myself, I was so excited about that. I would so much rather have that than people who are indifferent.
Blasé.
According to early gossip, she believed he was directing too many creative choices her way, and behind closed doors, she grumbled that he was orchestrating a media narrative that made her seem less essential. Those rumors spilled into tabloids, and fans started to notice small anomalies, lukewarm or terse comments during interviews, abrupt topic changes that sidelined Justin's contributions. It truly does not give a good look. As the tension escalated, Blake claims she was a victim of rumors systematically placed in the press to tarnish her image. She accused Justin of masterminding a smear campaign. The more she tried to cover it, the more everything came falling down on her and gave no control for what may follow. At first, such allegations gained traction. Hollywood is known for shifting alliances and strategic leaks, so it did not seem implausible that a star might face targeted negativity if conflicts arose on set. Viewers and industry insiders were inclined to be sympathetic, recalling how leading ladies often attract scrutiny that men in similar positions do not. This is where the story turns for good for most, it seemed. Yet, while some sided with Blake initially, others started uncovering evidence that complicated her story. Screenshots of text messages, mostly leaked by close affiliates of Justin, began to circulate. How the lawyer came upon this information must have been like the world being turned upside down. These exchanges depicted a more nuanced tale. Instead of Justin marginalizing Blake, it seemed Blake was the one asserting near-complete control over certain aspects of the production. What it comes down on is seeing that the lies aren't adding up is what it has been. She referenced her personal sphere of influence, which included her husband Ryan Reynolds and other powerful friends she liked to call her dragons. In multiple messages, she made veiled suggestions that if the team didn't meet her demands, she'd rally formidable connections to influence film edits, marketing campaigns, and even media coverage. The way the messages went out seems as though she had to keep the peace and bring a point to what really matters. The situation might still have resolved itself quietly had it not escalated into a swirl of contradictory claims. Around the same time, rumors arose that Blake wanted to reshape the film script, veto certain technical choices, and even position co-stars differently during press events. In the end, it seems that the legal matter seemed to be only the option, but if only she knew what will happen next, this is most certainly would have not had even happened. The turning point, however, was her legal filing against the production, which outlined accusations of discomfort on set, complaints that hinged on the absence of certain protocols for close contact scenes. She also insisted that Justin had made unkind remarks regarding her physical appearance post-childbirth, a statement that, if accurate, would have cast him in a very negative light. How the story will change with it all is something for us to ponder. In the midst of these swirling allegations, Blake's attorney publicly presented a series of carefully edited text messages in support of her claims. These messages omitted emojis, spliced conversation fragments, and rearranged statements, forming a narrative that made Justin appear domineering or oblivious to her comfort, and what the team did the best for her and how they would. Blake's legal strategy rested heavily on this curated evidence. Yet soon afterward, Justin's team countered with what they called the complete text record, which showed unredacted chronological conversations that contradicted some of Blake's claims. The people wanted to see things in the right side instead of this.
But I was like just tracking him down, and then I finally got to read the script, and the script was a thriller. So that was a little confusing to me because he's like such a funny director.
Yeah.
And so I said, you know, what is this? Because the script is definitely like a twisting, turning, intense thriller. Is it a comedy or a thriller? And he said, yes. So then every day on set, I was like, is today a comedy or is it a thriller?
It's a good mix
and
of both.
like, yeah, it's like really kind of over the top and campy and trashy and fun and like, you know, kind of like my outfit, I guess.
In one instance, she accused Justin of walking into her trailer unannounced while she was in a vulnerable situation, only for Justin's evidence to show that she had explicitly invited him, even laughing in a message about the timing. This discrepancy left many observers dumbfounded. All what was once said was false. Enter the unexpected chapter where Blake's longtime lawyer, known for representing prominent Hollywood figures in delicate disputes, resigned from her case. The person that was supposed to do it now goes against it? It really is something mind-blowing if that is what it seems. I mean, it was a chance and the lawyer knew that. It would have changed if the time was to come and make it happen. The show that things would come back is where the issue falls and what the next steps will be. While it's not unusual for attorneys to part ways with their clients, the shock this time hinged on how the attorney departed. Instead of quietly filing a withdrawal in court, the lawyer issued a public statement voicing concern about the credibility of Blake's claims. This was unheard of, a legal professional effectively turning the tables on a client. suggesting that the narrative Blake was pushing could be incomplete or misleading. How the conversation turns into. Industry observers speculated that the lawyer, upon gaining access to the full records of messages and witness testimonies, saw a gap between Blake's public pronouncements and the underlying facts. What people think can easily be changed with the proper steps, and this isn't something that wasn't known. The statement itself was carefully worded, sidestepping direct references to wrongdoing. Yet the thrust was unmistakable. The lawyer could no longer ethically represent a position that clashed with verifiable evidence. The lawyer is said to be aware of the situation and knows what can come. This isn't over. And what he would do if it was on something that is too big to face. It all to have what is to be that in order to make the situation happen. It has been said that it could mean all was a lie and that there would be no one standing along what had been said. This has been the tale for what it is has be on full line, but not no more. And for that, everything you know must be rethought. This would give rise to what people see of the person that has been wrong, what they would start to believe. But it's all to know what comes to be at what this is. I might be crazy, but is this what it may really seem? The revelation from her now former attorney unleashed a fresh wave of discussions. Public sentiment had been wavering. Some still believed Blake was the target of under-the-radar manipulations, while others were convinced she had weaponized partial truths to steer the media. For the most part, every claim would have people to see all sides and what they choose to believe as it comes.
And being frank, if it were not for women giving me direct feedback in my own personal life and being a man who was willing to at least listen to them, there's no chance that I would be having this conversation. So the message, to answer your question, the message is very simple. As men, we need to embrace all of the parts of us that make us human. That's it.
It is.
It's
And
very simple.
The new twist pressed many to reassess. If her own lawyer disavowed the claims, how reliable were they to begin with? Online forums lit up with heated debates, fans divided between those who felt betrayed by Blake's alleged deceptions and others who maintained faith in her, arguing that the lawyer might be acting out of personal gain or harboring hidden motives. As if you read their minds and that would just leave so little to the imagination. Simultaneously, the revelations gave Justin an unexpected advantage. For someone who set out to produce a heartfelt adaptation, he had been thrust into a bizarre spotlight, forced to defend himself by releasing private communications. With what he had to gain with was only to protect what has truly mattered with what has been going. The dramatic exit underscored what industry insiders had begun to suspect, that the deeper one dug into the claims, the more they unraveled. What has been a great move is all to come is something that only those that were willing to make it to that point knew, but what others didn't. It is to know and find out what makes what happen with the world as you make changes, because what doesn't is left where it is. It was crazy from there on out, but they had to make a move and come to a crossroad with it all. Hollywood took note. Castmates and crew members who had been reluctant to speak up now felt less constrained. They said what they wanted and what they believed was the facts for all. It was just too much with what the world had going. Some privately shared stories indicating that Blake appeared to deliberately pick apart situations, turning them into hot-button issues only to later reference them in legal or public contexts that did not reflect what actually transpired. What they saw was far worse than what came out. They now just hope all can come to an end. One production assistant recounted a time Blake insisted a certain scene be reshot multiple times, ostensibly for creative reasons. But days later, she described the same scenario in interviews as proof that the production had no proper guidelines for emotional well-being, a puzzling mismatch. And that can all come to an end when you take what you mean and take what it is worth. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni finds himself unexpectedly thrust into a vantage point where many view him as having been unfairly targeted and then vindicated by the very counsel who once stood on Blake's side. For as what he is and what he knows he has, to stand and stay strong and stand in what has given the most trust from all involved. As it stands, the entire episode stands out as one of the more convoluted behind-the-scenes Hollywood tales in recent memory, featuring legal intricacies, personal rifts, and a star's surprising fall from grace. The time will come, and it won't be what I seem what really is. The tale as it may seem isn't all that it has to be, but what has come out as well. The standoff between Blake and Justin may not end soon, especially if depositions or new claims emerge. Nonetheless, the biggest strike against Blake's credibility may not come from Justin himself, but from her own former representative. With what all could come and what can become, what was needed to come is all that matters. For an actress once seen as untouchably charming, the turn of events is a sharp reminder that in an industry driven by perception, everything hinges on how stories hold up under scrutiny. If everything could have changed, I have a feeling they would. All what to say.
I think the idea that people think that they know you, I think because of how intrusive media is these days, people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you.
If Blake tries to resurrect her claims, she'll have to grapple not just with Justin's side, but also with the echo of that departing lawyer's cautionary words. If the change to be better could happen in the tale, what was told would all come to a different end. This is what one could only hope at this point. If she attempts to let the matter quietly dissolve, she leaves behind an unresolved swirl of doubt that could trail her into future ventures. If there is a doubt, then it would stay till the end of time. It is what people that are seeing this will only think, and there is no choice but that. Either choice carries substantial risk. Meanwhile, Justin, though having gone through significant stress, stands better positioned than before to move forward, forging new projects, while the public continues to parse the text messages and confessions that he has made available. This may seem all for to do with it, but one has to take more into the equation. It may be some time before a lasting resolution emerges. The court system moves slowly, and public opinion, though swift to react, can be fickle, shifting again if another development arises. They will have to see for what it is, and no choice but to see the true colors, as that is the tale to be told. Yet, no matter how things end, the departure of Blake Lively's attorney has already etched this saga into Hollywood lore. With a single exit, it hammered home the notion that when the facts don't line up, even the most polished celebrity facade can crumble, leaving a trail of revelations that few could have seen coming. The story is going to be one for the books because there is so many layers to get to see. What one might hear from a friend, or what you know can be something that can bring so much. People think that they know the celebs, but all is to know is who is inside, to be known to where the next move might be. To those that want to learn and be a celebrity, take notes of all the actions and what to try to do and see. They may see a story in what actions and what will be the end. If everything could change with every act and with the story, be careful to what you say, to how you lead, and if all ends this way, then it's only a game for your life to be made. Know that, and all might find what needs to be at the end. People care so much more about your personal life than they do your work. And if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you. I say all might find it to be a better ending than what is at face. It is worth noting to where the actions might take. It is all what the tale and to make with your place. So what do you think? Did Blake Lively's actions ultimately backfire? Did her attorney make the right decision to resign? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown insightful, please like this video and subscribe for more Hollywood deep dives.